The cold expanse of the Andromeda Fringe, an endless stretch of dark, lifeless space, was a graveyard of stars and forgotten worlds. The starship Aurora Dawn, a state-of-the-art vessel on an exploratory mission, drifted slowly through this void, its crew scanning for anomalies. Among the cold, distant stars, they made an unprecedented discovery, a derelict station, floating aimlessly between two dying stars. The structure was unlike anything they had ever encountered, its design completely alien. No markings, no recognizable symbols. It was a silent enigma waiting to be uncovered. Captain Leora Kane, her voice steady but edged with curiosity, ordered the crew to power up the station's dormant systems. They watched in awe as the ancient station flickered to life, the faint hum of long-forgotten machinery reverberating through their ship. However, the sense of awe quickly turned to unease when a message began to play. A message not just on one screen or one console, but on every system on board Aurora Dawn. It was in every language the crew knew, and yet in many more they could not even recognize. The words echoed in their minds, chilling them to the core, never wake them. The crew's linguistic AI worked tirelessly, attempting to decipher the origins of the message. Binary pulses, chemical etchings, and patterns that spanned across time. Every tool they had was used in vain to understand the cryptic warning. Yet, as the AI painstakingly processed the data, one thing became clear. The station was far older than they had first imagined. Carbon dating placed it long before the formation of the Earth's solar system. A structure older than any known civilization, its purpose lost to the vast stretch of time. Despite the eerie warning, Captain Kane, driven by the thirst for discovery, made a decisive call. "We proceed with caution," she ordered. The team's curiosity was undeniable, but the lingering dread of what lay ahead was also real. They would investigate the station's secrets, but with careful steps, every action weighed against the risk of disturbing whatever had been left behind. Their exploration took them deeper, into the forgotten archives of the station. Holographic recordings flickered to life as they activated terminals, hidden beneath layers of dust and decay. These recordings told the story of an ancient race, the Zorath, who had encountered Earth long before humanity even existed. The Zorath had found Earth, a planet teeming with potential, yet one which remained dormant, uninhabited by any conscious life. They spoke of Earth's future inhabitants, calling them the Dormant Ones, and warned of the terrifying power these beings would one day awaken. A repeating phrase ran through the Zorath's ancient logs. They will inherit the stars, but only if the stars survive them. Each word sent a ripple of unease through the crew. The Zorath, with their advanced technology and wisdom, had predicted humanity's rise, but also feared what such beings might bring. There was something in their words, something dark that seemed to hint at a future that was far from certain. What could this ancient race have known? Why had they left these warnings? The crew was left with more questions than answers, but the pull of the mystery was too strong to resist. As they continued their investigation, strange occurrences began to unfold. Lights flickered sporadically in the corridors, casting long shadows that seemed to move of their own accord. Whispers too faint to understand echoed through the halls. Then the unthinkable happened. One of the crew members, Lieutenant Renner, vanished without a trace. One moment he was there, reviewing data, and the next he was gone. The crew rushed to the surveillance footage, their eyes scanning the screens in disbelief. The last thing they saw of Renner was him standing before a door they had not noticed before. It was unmarked, the walls surrounding it blank and featureless. Renner seemed to stare at it for a moment, as if drawn to something within. Then, as the video played out, he vanished, his body fading away into thin air, leaving no trace. Captain Kane, shaken but resolute, led a small team to investigate this mysterious door. No sooner had they stepped inside than they were confronted with rows upon rows of stasis pods. Hundreds of them, all occupied, yet all silent. The beings inside were unmistakably human, of that there was no doubt. But there was something wrong. Each pod exuded an aura of unnatural stillness, as though they were not just preserved in stasis, but frozen in time itself. The inscriptions on each pod were minimal, cryptic, not yet. A chilling message, one that raised far more questions than answers. What had happened here? Why had these people been placed in stasis? And most unsettling of all, why had they been left with that warning? Not yet. The implications were terrifying. Was this some kind of experiment? A test? Or something far more sinister? Captain Kane and her crew were no longer just explorers. They were trespassers in a place of unimaginable age and dark purpose. The more they uncovered, the more they realized that their discovery had only just begun. The derelict station, the Zorath, the stasis pods, and the mysterious message all pointed to something beyond their understanding. As they continued to delve deeper into the forgotten archives, the crew found themselves questioning not just the nature of their discovery, but their place in a universe far older and far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. The warnings were clear. The past had left its mark on the present, and what they had awakened was not something they could control. Something had been waiting in the dark, something that had never meant to be disturbed. And now, the crew of the Aurora Dawn had awakened it, and they would soon discover the price of their curiosity. For some doors, once opened, can never be closed again. The Zorath's final act was recorded in a chilling transmission, the last remnant of a once mighty civilization. Their fate, as described in the archival footage, was a grim tale of frustration and cosmic consequence. The Zorath, with their advanced technologies and vast knowledge, had seen humanity's future potential and feared it. In an attempt to erase this threat before it could rise, they made several attempts to destroy Earth, to snuff out the dormant life before it could awaken. But every attempt, whether through weapons, plagues, or even the destruction of the planet itself, was met with catastrophic retaliation. It was not humanity that fought back, but the universe itself. Reality seemed to bend and recoil against the Zorath's efforts. Stars would collapse, gravitational anomalies would emerge, and cosmic storms would erupt whenever the Zorath tried to alter Earth's fate. It was as though something far greater than the Zorath was protecting the planet. And so, the Zorath, in their final moments, had built the station as a warning and eternal beacon to prevent the awakening of what they had so feared. But it was too late. The Aurora Dawn's crew, driven by their need for answers, continued to explore the station. One of the crew members, overcome by fear and desperation, disobeyed the captain's orders. Believing that opening one of the stasis pods might yield the answers they so desperately sought, he activated it. The moment the pod's lid slid open, the air in the room grew heavy. From within, a figure emerged, its body almost indistinguishable from human, except for the eerie, glowing light that radiated from its eyes. The ship's systems, which had been functioning just moments before, immediately shut down. Lights flickered, power was lost, and the entire crew was plunged into darkness. The figure did not speak in words. It uttered only a single question, a question that reverberated through the crew's minds. Why? The figure's presence was not merely unsettling, it was overwhelming. Its gaze seemed to pierce through time itself, bending reality to its will. The crew's minds were probed, as if they were fragile vessels of thought, unable to hide their innermost fears and secrets. The figure's voice, when it spoke again, was calm but deeply authoritative. "You have awakened me. Now you will learn the truth." And through this shared connection, the crew saw what they had not anticipated. The dormant ones were not just human. They were something far greater, ancient beings who had once guarded the galaxy, or perhaps destroyed it. These beings were neither heroes nor villains. They were neither saviors nor destroyers. They existed outside of such simple definitions. The dormant ones had been waiting for the right moment, for a time when the galaxy was weak enough, when they could rise again and reshape reality according to their will. Their awakening was not just a potential event. It was a cataclysmic shift in the very fabric of the universe. The being, now standing in front of them, made it clear that the crew had a choice. They could leave the station, erase all knowledge of what they had discovered, and never speak of it again. Or they could awaken the rest of the dormant ones, but at the cost of bringing judgment upon the galaxy. This judgment would not be a simple destruction. It would be a reordering of existence itself. Time, space, and reality would twist and fracture under the weight of the dormant one's power. The crew was paralyzed by fear, the weight of the choice pressing down upon them. Terrified of the consequences, they made their decision. With a unanimous vote, they chose to flee the station. As the Aurora Dawn sped away from the station, the crew knew they had made the right choice. But there was no solace in it. As they transmitted the ancient warning to every known civilization, they could only wonder if anyone would heed it, or if their discovery would be swept away in the currents of time. The message was simple, yet terrifying. Never wake them. Back on Earth, the ordinary rhythms of life continued. People went about their days, oblivious to the cosmic forces that had been stirred. But one observer, an amateur astronomer with a keen eye for the unusual, noticed something strange in the night sky. Stars, once steady and bright, were dimming in rapid succession. It was as if something vast and ancient was stirring, something that had lain dormant for eons, only now beginning to awaken. The astronomer could not explain what he was seeing, but the question lingered: had the crew of the Aurora Dawn truly left the dormant ones to sleep, or had they unknowingly set something into motion? The universe was changing, and the implications of their actions were far beyond their comprehension. In the final moments, a hidden facility deep within Earth's crust activated. Monitors flickered to life, displaying images of galaxies and stars scattered across the universe. A voice, calm and resolute, spoke into the stillness. "We are awake." The dormant ones were no longer just a relic of the past. They had been awakened, and now the universe would feel the weight of their return.